Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Prosperous Womb. Drop a yes in the comments below if you've ever lost a client because you were rambling on or talking too much during a sales conversation. And drop the word sales below if you've ever lost a client in a sales conversation after they've decided to work with you. It happens all the time, more than we care to talk about because we're too embarrassed to talk about this part of sales where we show up needy, feeling unworthy, lack of value, and then we ruin our sales conversation and we don't help the clients we say we're here to serve. Today I'm going to share with you 5 ways to know when a client is ready to give you their credit card number so you never lose a sale. But here's the thing, apart from asking better questions, we've got to be better listeners with our ears, with our eyes, with our hearts, with our minds, so that we see the cues, both verbally and non-verbally, when a client is ready to say, take my credit card, okay? So why do we talk so much? Why do we lose clients? It's because maybe we don't have a sales strategy or a sales system that we feel is natural to us, so we ramble on, or maybe we don't feel worthy, so we have to prove our worth, prove that we know all this stuff, so we try to dump everything down the client's throat and coach for free. Or maybe it's because we don't really understand our clients because we haven't asked the better open-ended questions that dive deeper and support us to hear them, what they're saying, what they want. So we try to talk about ourselves and talk about all our testimonials so that the client can think, oh my gosh, obviously she's perfect for me because she knows so much, okay? So what does it look like in a real sales conversation? I've listened to over 250 sales conversations from clients and myself. And one of the things that I've seen that sabotages us the most is the inability to stop talking when the client is already sold, when the client is enrolled and ready to work with you, when the client is primed to pay you, when the client has made up her mind and you're still trying to sell, or what I call you're trying to convince, or what I call you're trying to activate some kind of objection because you paid $10,000 for the objection course and you want to use it. So you are doing everything you can for the client to raise an objection, and you don't know how to sell when there's no objection. Okay? So stop ruining the sale by talking too much. Talking too much, you lose the opportunity. In a sales conversation, the rule of thumb for me is ask 10% of the questions. Clients talk 90% of the time. You can do 80-20, 70-30, whatever works for you. It's what's natural to you. But the key is to shut up. Because in a sales conversation, it's not about getting the client to buy. It's about establishing a relationship that supports the client to see how you can serve her, supports the client to talk about the thing, the problem, the challenge, the opportunity, or the desire in a way that allows her to see it from a different perspective. Because when we say the thing out loud and give examples of what it is and go through it, we see it in a different way. So give her that space for her to show up and really shift her perspective and get the confidence for herself to say yes to herself or say no to herself because this is not the perfect opportunity for her. That's our job. It's not to get the client to buy or make them say yes because you have a no-brainer. Maybe it's a no-brainer for someone else, but not for this person. And the bottom line is, if you're pre-qualified with your messaging and pre-qualified with a high-ticket sales application, then only the best fit high-end coaching clients are coming through. And there's a 99% chance those clients are going to say yes to working with you. So listen for that yes, for that cue, for that bodily cue, for that eye cue, for that facial expression that says, I'm home. This is my lighthouse. I know the way home. Finally, I remember who I am. So what are the 5 things that I've heard in my sales conversations, in my client sales conversations, where the person is ready to sign and the coach is still talking, still selling, still waiting for the objection? The first one is, so how can we go deeper? Or what's the next step? When a client says, so how can we go deeper? What's the next step? Say, do you want to pay with MasterCard, American Express, or Visa? How would you love to pay? And this is where I hear this the most. And when I do my perfect explosion workshops, clients will say to me, okay, so I've created the offer. How do I go deeper with you? Or what's next? How can I work with you? In my clients, when I listen to my clients' calls, I hear the same thing. So what's the next step? When a client says that, just shut up and roll them, because don't interrupt that process. They've already heard your messaging. They've already applied to work with you. They've jumped through all of the hoops. They're here because they want to get the baby. They want to get married. They want the relationship. They want the job. They want the 100K months. They want the $1 million year. They want the thing, and they're here for it now. Don't sabotage their results. Okay? So what is the next step? You hear that a lot if you do masterminds, if you do workshops, if you do events that create client experiences, transformational insight client experiences for potential clients, other than a sales conversation. What's the next step? Another one I hear a lot is in workshops or on a sales conversation. After a client has binged on your content, maybe they found you on a podcast, maybe they found you on YouTube, or they've been reading your blog or in your email, they would say, you know what? I know you're the one I wanted to work with since the day I met you. I read your blog, I listened to the podcast, and I said, I believe she's the coach for me. Where have you been all my life? When a client says, I believe you're the one that I want to work with, they're ready to work with you. You'll be surprised how many coaches are still talking at this point, trying to explain what they do, trying to shove testimonials down their throat, trying to show their value and their work, trying to show that they're so good and they know what they're doing, and they try to coach the client. No, when the client says, I know you're the one for me, or I believe I want to work with you, just take the credit card number. Shut up and stop selling at that point. The third one is, I can't wait to work with you. So when I do Profit Explosion workshops, many of the women that come in there found me on YouTube, or maybe they Googled how to sell $100,000 coaching offers or how to sell high-ticket coaching offers, and they found me on my blog, my email list, and somehow all their lives as a coach, they've wanted to sell a high-ticket coaching offer, but they've been groomed by all these coaching gurus to sell 10K offers, and they believe, oh, the most I can sell is 15K. So when they find someone like me who's talking about a $100,000 coaching offer being the baseline, they think they've lost their mind, had a whole baptism, and are ready for a whole new life. So they're very, very excited. They're very, very excited. And so they want to get started. And they will say things like, you know, I've been wanting to sell $100,000 coaching offers. I didn't even think I could do that. I didn't even think it was possible. And now we've had this workshop, and now we're on the sales call, and I can see it. I know that I can do this. I know I can do it. When can we get started? I can't wait to get started. Shut up. Don't convince. Don't do anything but ask for the credit card number. Okay? Shut up and stop selling when the opportunity for them to get the thing they want is there and live in front of you. Another one I hear in my clients' sales conversations, or when I have a prospective client and I say, can I listen to your old sales calls before we start working together? And I'll hear a client say, so do you take payment plans? That is a sign. See, after working with me, you realize that that question needs to be answered on your high-ticket sales application form. Okay? It needs to be on the high-ticket sales application form. So when they come on the call, they ask about the nature of the payment plans, not whether you take payment plans. When a client asks about payment plans, they're ready to work with you. Okay? So those are the main ways. Did I miss anyone? So what are the next steps? I believe you can help me. I can't wait to get started. Can I do a payment plan? When do we get started? There's many more, but get on my email list to get the full scope of what a client says when they're ready to work with you, so you can shut up and stop selling. Okay? Let me know how this lands for you, and let me know how you're going to be a better listener in your next high-ticket sales conversation.